I'm like looking at myself like this is crazy. We're trying. You see the level of commitment here, everyone. Really, really working to try and make this work. And Danny, see if this is gonna work. Can you all hear me okay? Let's see. But you know what's so funny? Something does. Okay. You're so funny, Danny.
Just waiting. Is it
I
better
think
now?
it's better, I
All
think.
right, cool.
Okay. We just gonna go with it. We're just gonna go with it. How are you, my love?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain. Blessed, highly favored, moisturized.
The moisturize. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Life looks good on you. I'm so ah
These are life. I
tell
need to
me
order
about
some
it.
more. I need to
You
order
love
some more.
them.
I got Neff addicted. She's like, oh, I need to hit Ty up. These are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Everyone, she's talking about the Brown Girl Jane Gelays. I don't know if you have them, if you haven't gotten into them. They are, I mean, it's a whole mood.
It's
It's a
a mood.
it is a whole mood. I must tell you, like, I feel actually this week, and it was because, I have my little sister and my niece with me. And so I've been working and, God morning, Medea, and trying to, manage work and life, which is a whole different thing. And the days that I did not take my balance drop or have my gelays, I felt it. So
Hmm.
if I don't, if I'm not like for real committed to this, there's a whole different energy level. So tell me before we jump in, what have you been up to? How's your spirit? Like, I mean, what's going on with you? And everyone, just so for context, Danny is one of my mentees who's now a friendtee because she's a grown person. But she's been in my life since she was 15 years old, and I was 15 years old too. You weren't supposed to laugh. That wasn't meant to be funny.
Close
Uh,
enough. Close enough.
Close enough, exactly. But she's been in my life for a very, very long time. But I don't know where the background sound is coming from. I can't. I'm gonna do my best. We're not gonna stay on super long anyway because I have a car pickup. But tell me how you are. Like, how's your spirit? What's going on with you?
I'm actually amazing. Work is amazing. Family is amazing. Love life is amazing. Everything is moving at a steady pace. Um,
Hmm.
where pre pandemic and during the pandemic, it was like a roller coaster. Like work was high, 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 and then we couldn't do anything, and then it was super low, and I didn't know how to gain balance, or I didn't know how to like restructure my life or pivot. Now it's like I'm back in the flow of things. Everything is moving smoothly. I'm on a routine. Like I could be more happy. I'm actually in a really good space.
What does flow mean for you?
Excuse me?
What does flow mean for you? To have flow. What does that mean for you?
To have consistency.
Hmm.
So with me, I have this idea that if I am not dumb tired or if I'm not overexerting myself in every single thing I do, then I'm not being productive. And that's actually counterproductive. So me having a nice flow is me having a nice balance. Me
Mm.
is instead of me being like on a roller coaster, it's just me being leveled and finding a
Hmm.
way to stay leveled, not getting too high, not getting too low. So for me, that's good flow.
And what is kind of like your practice? I mean, it's so weird. It's not weird. It's wonderful. But because I have known you for so long and I just love seeing your growth and your evolution as a person and how you show up in the world, um, how do you set your mindset? I mean, like what's been your practice for getting clear and setting your mindset and being who you are and how you show up in the world?
So it's interesting because for a long time I did not have a routine. And even now, I say I have a routine, but we all have glitches where we get thrown off and we want to sleep a little bit longer. So I attempt. That's my main thing. Like I attempt to have a routine every single day. Like every single day I try to put forth effort, whether it's to work out, wake up early. I literally am only have my Instagram on because of this conversation. So I'll delete my Instagram at night around like 7, 8 p.m. and I don't touch it, like delete it off my phone. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm not automatically rolling over, picking up my phone, looking at social media. No, I try to meditate for at least 10 minutes using a calm app, go work out, come back, get in a shower. And then after all of that, I say, what am I doing with today? I think about
Mm.
what I have to do with today before I even touch my phone and pick up like social media or anything like that. Because it's all a distraction, honestly.
Listen, I must tell you, if social media were not a part, initially, if it were not a part of like my connection for work, I know I
Mhm.
wouldn't be on it. But beautifully, Cabral, wow. But beautifully, I just poured some coffee, sorry. So, but beautifully, it's become a way for me to meaningfully connect, like, you know, this
Absolutely.
tribe and this. Good morning. Thank you so much. Did you have do you have a coffee as well? Yes, it's the same room. Yeah, the coffee and the green drink. I'll take the green drink. Thank you so much. All right, perfect. I'm like, sorry. Trying to do all the things and probably too many things at one time, which is, but because I'm committed to this tribe is why I'm here. Um, yeah, I think that the idea of getting off social media is so important. And I really was close to like dropping it all for a minute. But then this community has really, and this tribe has really kind of nurtured me in. We've been a force of nurturing one another that I have found kind of like new meaning and connection through social media. So I've been super grateful for that. But you have the passage. So what we do here, um, sis said, but where's the coffee? You're right. This green drink is cute, but what I need is some coffee. So what we do here, Danny, is we read. One of my practices in terms of getting up in the morning is, in addition to my prayer and meditation time, and sometimes journaling, is reading from Iyanla Until Today.
Hmm.
And I started doing it in 2012 when Emil gifted me the book for Christmas, and it's just been a consistent part of, you know, how I set my mind, my spirit, my heart to elevate every single day. And so what we're going to do is going to read the passage, and then we're going to have a quick discussion about what it means to you, what it says to you, and then we'll go from there. Good morning, Janie, again, and Shelley Lanice. Do you have the passage, babe?
Yeah, I got it up.
Okay. You want to start June? It's June 10th, everyone. I do know that because I'm traveling, because I don't typically know dates at all. Be back with my coffee. Um,
Question: Are we going from paragraph to paragraph? How you want to
So you'll
present
do, if
it?
you want to start, then you'll read the first two paragraphs and then I'll pick up and finish off. So you'll open up and then I'll finish off. Good morning,
Sounds great.
Felice. All right, everyone, June 10th, we are reading from Ayanla Until Today. And this is my darling Danny.
Let's go.
You start.
All right. So many of us have a black hole in our hearts that sucks
Wait,
the
start
fight.
start from the beginning. Start from the beginning. I am
Okay.
now willing.
I am now willing to forgive myself for not being willing to risk proving that someone may be wrong about me.
Mm,
So many of us have a black hole in our hearts that sucks the fight, the life, and the goodness from our lives. Sure, there are days when we can smile, laugh, and almost convince ourselves that life is okay. Then, without warning, we are sucked down into the black hole of guilt. Some Hold on. Some of us are guilty about believing that we have the right to be more than people have told us we can be. Every time we stand on the verge of proving them wrong, we throw ourselves into the black hole. There may be a black hole in your heart that is full of fear, pain, grief, anger, or shame. This is a deep hole. It seems so deep and wide that you may actually live in fear that it will swallow you. Many of us live in the constant fear that we will be more than what we have been told we can be.
mm.
Unfortunately, it is fear that sucks you deeper into the hole.
There's only one way to get out and stay out of the black holes. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself for all of the unkind, unloving, unsupportive things that you have thought about yourself. Forgive yourself for the things you have done to yourself that support the things you believe about yourself that are not true. Forgive yourself for being so hard on yourself. Forgive yourself for all of the clever ways you have devised to deny that these holes exist in your heart. Until today, you may not have been aware of the things you have done in response to the black hole in your heart. Or you may have done many things in an effort to deny, avoid, or ignore that the black hole exists. Just for today, step down into the hole and forgive yourself. Today I'm devoted to opening up the black hole in my heart and forgiving myself for everything I have allowed to be buried there. Wow, this is good. This is good. Okay, so Danny, what does this say to you? Is there anything that jumps off at you on
The
this one?
the main thing that jumps out at me is the forgiving yourself for hold on, forgiving yourself for being hard on yourself and forgiving yourself for all the clever ways you have devised, denied that these holes in your heart exist, that the holes of guilt and fear and pain and grief. Um, that's what jumped out to me the most. What about you?
Why, tell me why that jumped out to you the most. What does it say to you?
Because to be completely honest, the whole and this is just me being completely transparent. Like, I am blessed to be in a position where I have never in my life been around people who have talked down to me or did not support me or anything of that nature. Like, I've always had support, whether it was from family, friends, teachers, people like you. Like, people have always seen potential in me. So
This is true.
I've never had the thank you. I've never had the guilt of having to prove someone wrong because they were thinking that I would fail or being negative or anything like that. So what stuck to me was the forgiveness of myself, because even though I had all of that support, I still battled with confidence, and I still battled with whether I was capable, and oh, maybe I'm not deserving of, this level of joy. So that's
Mm.
why that part personally stuck out to me.
No, I received that, and I think you hit something on the head that's really important, and it's interesting because I have my 15-year-old sister and my 17-year-old niece with me right now. And, as we try and work through some of the familial trauma that has existed in our family and that sort of thing, I'm trying to help them understand as teenagers that despite circumstances, you have a choice about how you show up, right? And, we know that trauma, family trauma, and that sort of thing can create a black hole in your heart where you tell yourself, like, because of this reason, I'm undeserving of this, and oftentimes, like you said, you might have people around you that see something in you that you don't see in yourself. But, as the saying goes, we can be our own worst critic. We can be our, the biggest condemners and judges of ourselves and others. And I'm so sorry for the background noise. Um, the other thing, we've been talking about forgiveness and, like, how do we forgive ourselves? Like, the reality is that, how do you get out of this place, even when other people see something in you that you don't see in yourself? How do you get out of the space of denying yourself your own truth? Because your truth is that you're great. Your truth that is that you're infinitely capable. But how do you get out of your own way? Like, what is that practice? What is that experience, like, to actually get there?
For me, it was more so being overly confident to a fault. Like, it was literally me looking myself in the mirror every single day like, Danny, you got this. Danny, excuse my language, you the ish. Like, you can literally conquer everything. You're deserving of the life you want. Like, it was literally me saying affirmations to myself every single day, every single day. And that kind of helped me get out of it, because when I was younger, although I had people who supported me, I wasn't so confident because I didn't want to be cocky, or I didn't want to come off as cocky, or I didn't want to come off as, narcissistic. So I literally dimmed my light because I did not
Mm,
want to shine over everybody else. I wanted to be normal. I wanted to fly under the radar, to the point you're so humble, you start doubting yourself and what you
mm.
can really do. So it's like I had to start putting myself on a pedestal and really acknowledge that I want a certain life for myself. And that life is not just from a financial perspective, but from a spiritual perspective. Like, certain people, you look at them and they walk in a room and they just glow. And that comes from the inside. That comes from their confidence. That comes from how they present themselves to the world. So I wanted to be that. I felt like I was deserving of that space, to occupy that space. So that's when the affirmations and everything just started, like, coming in.
It's yeah, and the self-talk and the affirmation part, guys, I see everyone's comment about the computer. There is no computer on. I'm trying to make sure it's off, but um I don't know what's happening in this room. But you said something that is really, really triggering for me. This idea of we sometimes walk in this space of humility, so much so that we actually put ourselves into the black hole. Because this
Absolutely.
idea of being overly humble and not standing in your power, to your point, is dimming. Because, like, and even the words that you just used, like the idea of dimming light, is like to be in the shade, right? It's to be
Right.
shady, it's to be in this black hole, literally. And we walk sometimes in this level of wanting to be perceived as humble, because
Absolutely.
we want to be perceived as humble, and that false sense of humility is actually denying us in some ways our level of greatness and our level of esteem. And so I do think, we have to forgive ourselves for subscribing, one, to false humility,
Absolutely.
so much so that you don't allow yourself to really stand tall and to stand in all of your light, in all of your beauty, in all of your glory, in all of your promise, in all of your possibility. Um,
Absolutely.
so if there is a black hole in your life or in your heart that you've been dimming, I love what you said. So what are some things for you, Danny? You said positive self-talk and affirmations. What are some of the other things that you do to kind of like allow your light to shine, or to feel the beauty and the fullness of your light?
I feel like I present myself way more. Like I
Mm,
used to stand in the background, speak only when people. I still kind of like. I'm very shy. Like I'm very like. I'll speak when people speak to me and things like that. But it's just how I present myself is completely differently. Anytime I walk in a room, I feel like I am supposed to be in that room. Like
mm,
regardless of who is in that room, I'm like I am supposed to be here, and that's the energy I am going to put out. What I say is fact. What I say matters. My feelings matter. My opinions matter. I am supposed to occupy this space, and it sounds so simple, but that's what it is. That is how I became this person, by literally telling myself I belong to occupy certain spaces.
Was
Like
there a
I
moment? Was there a
am.
moment in your life when you felt that light switch? Especially I think, as a gay woman, like when was there a moment in your life when you were like, this is my truth. I'm gonna stand in my truth. I'm gonna declare my truth. I'm gonna show up in this space and I belong. Do you remember a light switch moment for you?
No, for me, even from the LGBT perspective, it wasn't like a sprint. It was literally a marathon. I went through stages and stages of finding myself, in stages of being depressed, in stages of, do I want to be this type of lesbian, or what is the type of lesbian I want to be, or do I want to be this type of person?
Mm,
And then overall, I came to form with, regardless of who I am sexuality wise, I just want to be a great human being.
being,
Like,
yeah.
and to be completely honest, it was no switch, because I'm still working at it every day. Every day I have self doubt. Like every day I say certain things negatively to myself, and then every day I correct myself right after.
Ooh.
And it's like, I don't think it was a switch like I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be the best version of myself today. No, it's a work in progress. I have down days and I have great days. And hopefully, as I go through life, my great days will like, be the
Outnumber.
highlight. Not even outnumber, just be the highlight. Like I'm hoping that my great days outshine my bad days, no matter how many bad days I have. So it wasn't a switch. It's definitely a continued, like, gradual thing. It's a marathon for sure.
Yeah, I love what you said, and I love the transparency. So thank you for that. Like the reality of knowing that there are days when there is self-doubt, and you have to, in that moment, you accept
Absolutely.
that for what that is, but then you correct it. And like that's like, oh, that's so good, Danny, because that's so like intentionally pulling yourself out of the black hole before you go too deep, right?
Everything is intentional. Every single thing
Mm,
is intentional. And I think we as human beings have to move with intention. Like, once you move with intention, you'll see your life change.
mm. Mm. I see what Shakura said. Shakura said yes because we tend to fixate on the bad days more than the highlights of what is good in our days. And then someone said, although our good days will outweigh my bad. But you know, that's it for me. I think as we talk about forgiveness, you know, you talked about and you touched on the fact that it's a marathon and that it's consistent and it's constant and it's reoccurring, right? It's not something that just happens in the moment. And I love, you know, that you took that moment of me asking, like, was there a moment, a light bulb moment, a switch moment where you were like, oh, I'm going to be this, I'm going to show up as this? Like, was there something that triggered it? And you're like, no, it's constant, because that's how forgiveness has to happen within our hearts, right? We have to forgive ourselves in the moment, when we are going down a path that doesn't work for us. And then there might be another time when we sit down and we take stock and inventory of the experiences that we had, and we have to really course correct the behaviors over the long term as well. So it's like, that's the process. The process is that it happens in the moment. The process is that it also happens when you're sitting down and assessing like the long term kind of like impact. That's really, really good. Um, and then there's something else that you said that I just want to highlight and think that is really important, is that if we focus our energies and our attention not on being any one thing, but being an entire whole full human being, not based upon descriptions, descriptors, assignments, beliefs, but in totality, like, I think that that also gives us more room to grant ourselves grace, because then we're not fixated on any one thing to define
Absolutely.
ourselves. Like, that was really good.
I
That
think
was really
people
good.
I think people often feel guilty when they present themselves as one thing, and it's variations of all of us. Like you, it's literally, you're not one type of person. So
Mm,
we get guilty when we tell somebody we're this type of person, whether we're an introvert or, oh, I'm a homebody, I'm this. And then when you do the opposite of what you told someone or what you presented yourself to be, you feel guilty. And it's like,
mm,
we have to stop telling ourselves that we are this one form. Like,
mm.
you get what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, no, I'm here.
it does not give us room to move. It does not give us room to move freely. It doesn't give us room to grow. And then we start feeling guilty that we made an assessment of ourselves and start questioning, well, am I that person? Am I this person? Should I want to be that person? No. Like, just
Mm.
be you. Occupy the
Oh,
space how you want to occupy the space. Just be a good human being.
right. No, I'm here for that. I'm here for that. And I think it's funny because this is also another reoccurring thing that comes up about how we define and describe who we are. And I'm one of those people, like, I hate titles, so like, don't define me by my job. You know,
Right.
talk about the heart and the spirit of who I am. Like, if anything, I want people to describe or define me as a person, you know, who you feel the light and love from, a person who you know, obviously emanates this, like, or that, not based upon like one set of criteria. And I think you're right. You know, we have the trouble forgiving ourselves is when we put ourselves not only in the black hole, like when we go
Mhm.
into this black hole, but when we put ourselves in boxes. And so
Absolutely.
how the box can kind of become the conduit for this black hole. So if you stop limiting yourself, limiting your perception of who you are, your own truth, recognize that truths come in variations. Truths can, you know, be, you know, far and wide, and it doesn't have to be one particular one. Then we won't fall into the black hole. That was good.
Absolutely.
That was really, really good. Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
I love
No.
and miss you.
I love and miss you too. You're in New York, right?
I'm in New York. Yeah, I'm shooting here today.
How
I
long are you
can't.
here?
Leaving tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even tell my parents I was in. I came in last night. And I have, like I said, my niece and my little sister with me, and they're texting me that they're locked out of the door, out of the. Good morning. I thought you guys were gonna eat down there. Where's Oh, okay. So yeah, so I'm just here for for the day, shooting and then leaving out tomorrow morning.
Well, we have to catch up next time you're in New York for sure.
I miss you. I know. I'll come over to the house and see you
Please
guys and
do.
spend some time.
Please.
Please give Neffy my love.
I
I'll
will.
hit you via text. I'm grateful for you and your time. I love you so much always.
I love you too.
Have a beautiful day. Bye, Danny.
I
Any
will. You have a
wait,
beautiful day as
let me
well.
say this really quickly. Any of my New York people, New York and New Jersey, you're licensed in Jersey too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone looking for a home to buy and or to lease, please do follow Danny Sells, NYC. She is a real estate agent with Compass. Really dynamic. I'm so proud of you. Like it's crazy. I have these moments where Laquan came on not too long ago as well. Um,
He's coming out to LA.
I know. He hit me up the other day. He's coming out to LA. I see him often because when he comes out to LA, he'll make sure he comes and spends time with me.
Nice.
So when you come out to LA, make sure that you guys hit me up. Um, but if anyone's in the market and looking for real estate or know someone that is in New York or New Jersey, all five boroughs, but especially Manhattan, Brooklyn, obviously everywhere in Jersey, hit Danny up. You're supporting another small Black business because ultimately, India, will you get the door, please, babe? You're supporting another small Black business, but ultimately, when you support uh, realtors, those are their businesses as well. So please get at her and also support Black Home, Neffy Walker's design firm and collection. Sending you guys so much love. I love you, Danny.
Love you too, Ty.
Talk to you later, babe.
Bye.
So guys, thank you so much for dealing with the technical difficulties that I'm experiencing today. I do not know what is going on, but I'm just gonna let it be. And I thank Danny for her patience and coming on. I think that was it's so funny because I want to talk about this more, but I have to get dressed for the shoot. So thank you for your flexibility. I didn't want to miss today, but this idea of boxes creating black holes, I think is really, really interesting. Boxes creating black holes. Now it's not doing anything. I think it was just something happening in the hotel. But boxes creating black holes of guilt. So to take yourself out of this hole. And thank you, Danny, for all of your wisdom. I love what you said about, one, positive self-talk and affirmation, knowing that when you walk into rooms, you belong in the room. And that's the proverbial room, but that's also just in life. Like you have to, and we have to be intentional about how we show up. And even sometimes when we don't necessarily have the confidence in showing up, knowing that if you're there, God placed you there for a reason. God placed you in that space for a reason. It's something that I'm kind of dealing with and addressing right now as it relates to several things, but especially in relationships. Like when you're here, it's like, why am I here? What do I have to learn from this? What do I have to glean from this? What wisdom can I share here? So there's no guilt associated with it, even if it's not the most perfect situation or ideal situation. And so I think it really becomes about shifting our minds, setting our minds and being very clear about the purpose in this. And so then there's no guilt. There's only learning. There's only growth. There's only evolution. There's only, exactly, Chantel, I see you. It's so great to see you. Know that you are there for a reason. Don't allow yourself to go down the black hole because you're not creating a box around defining who you are, how you're supposed to show up in any particular way at any particular time. Instead, you're honoring the season for what it is. You're accepting and expecting growth on the other side of it. Forgive yourself. Don't hold on to that. Sending you guys so much love. Have a beautiful day. I will not be on tomorrow because it is an early morning to get India home and Jada home and me back to LA. So I will be in on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. PST, 11:30 a.m. EST. You all have a wonderful day. I have forgiven myself for this awful sound reception that we had today, but so grateful to see. I'm trying not to call her because oh my gosh, Danny, one of my all-time favorite people, and just an incredible heart and spirit, whom I've loved since she was 15 years old, and just love seeing grown people. Like it's crazy. So it's been 15 years because I believe she's 30 now. It's so crazy. Like where does that time go? Sending you guys all love. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining and thank you for your patience. Ciao.